What's going on, my creative collective? Welcome to a your signs readings again. This is just a creative check-in. This is a timeless reading, so I'm starting to do some timeless ones to throw this in, so that wherever it meets you is exactly when you need to hear it. This one is for the Earth signs. So while I was kayaking last week, I was out and I was watching the light bouncing off the water and onto the face of the limestone cliffs. You'll see some of that in the meditations that were for last Sunday. Um, and I was thinking about, Taurus, and this is what I often do. I will meditate on what's happening around me, and then I carry specific things, and little pings will go where I see the energy for each sign. And Taurus was yours was about the things that the light illuminates that you typically can't see. And just that the light representing awareness. Now, I thought about how with the light bouncing off the water at that particular time of day, you could see all of the swallows' nests, and it looked like it was just kind of like shining on the rock. But then I thought about all of the things that your awareness might be bringing, like this thematically, right? Like your awareness is bringing things up to the fore, and it's really it's stunning. What would normally just look like some kind of structured thing, or um, perhaps monolithic in the way that it enters your life emotionally or otherwise, and it's just sort of like um, it finds a way to it's what I'm trying to say is that it sticks around, like it's there all the time, like this cliff face, this stone structure. um, but there's something about the way the light hits it that makes it look new. So there's parts of you that you may be sort of that may be coming to the fore. Now this relates to sun, moon, rising, or Venus. But then also I've been noticing that the node readings, so like north nodes, perhaps read for that too, depending. But just the way that the light and the awareness that you have about yourself. So that was something that was coming up a lot. I'm going to do this one first. Okay. So I'm pulling a couple different thematic cards here to set the stage. Spirit, what messages do you have for my beautiful Taurians? Whoa. Okay. Electricity, yeah. That is electric. That's like, it's like this light, right? Like this light from within. And I feel like the light was coming from the sun when I was kayaking, but I feel like this is from within you. This is something within you, Taurus, that's just unfolding, and it's like you're understanding something about your own power. And it's a 9 if you total it up, which signifies endings. It also signifies the Hermit card in the Rider-Waite, like the Major Arcana. Um, And interestingly, this is like wildness and electricity alongside that sort of hermit and ending of a cycle energy. It's almost like you go within and then out, right? Like it's like this shift of something internally. I feel like you're coming into your own in a really gorgeous way. And I feel like it's important that you know that, but it's also important that you slow down long enough to see it. Because I almost feel like this is a process that takes a second. Like it's like being struck by lightning. 333. I'm hearing the song. Okay, this is weird. Not weird, but just so the song. There's a line in a song, and it's "Lightning doesn't strike twice" or something like that. And it's the song "Once in a Lifetime" by Landon Austin, which is very sweet. I love that song so much. But it's the idea of like it doesn't strike twice in the same place necessarily, right? So it's like how fast this happens in a flash. It's like allow yourself the opportunity to savor moments where you understand what's happening inside of you right now, and even outside of you, like the way your world is acquiescing to the changes that you're making inside right now, Taurus. Spirit, what else do you have for me? Whoa. Yin. Okay, that's some divine feminine energy. That's a 2 high priestess. So this is really like this is a super super psychic time for you. Like this, you're really connected. You're really connected. I'm going to pull a postcard from Spirit for you. This wasn't my intention to pull from this, but I'm feeling very pulled towards it. Okay, that's a lot. Okay, so this one says, "You shine brightly." Look at that. Wow, Taurus, this is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. You are pulling the gorgeous out because that's what you are. Dearest you, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Okay, so I just need to hold this up while I read this because, like, wow. Okay. All your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Be grateful, praise things before they manifest, and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring you only more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let Spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty so you will be ready to be filled with inspired epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. In this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. All is well. So this, I mean, I get the vibe that this is a lot of, it's like, I'm seeing like a high priestess transformation, a high priestess, I don't want to say process because a process, it feels bigger than a process. High priestess becoming. Let me pull from we'll pull the main spread here and then we'll clarify, okay? And it's funny. So what just came to mind was the way that the swallows' nests actually look like bees' nests from afar, right? That's what I initially thought that they were. And then, of course, I got closer and I was like, this is really, I don't like wasps. But I was like, of course, I'm like, well, let's explore. I'm not going to like take the paddle and go into the nest. So it should be fine, right? And then I saw these little baby heads sticking out. And they were like I got a video of a mother feeding the baby. Which was incredible to me. I'm still so grateful that I got that video, but yeah, it's like they looked like from afar without that light shining on it, you couldn't really see that it wasn't bees nests or anything, right? Like, so it almost like it took the light, like there's this awareness that you're getting. This could be like the beginnings of a spiritual awakening. I feel though like it's a depth of one. It's almost like it's going deeper and wider in your soul or in your heart. There's something about that, like a depth, like this yin, like this receptivity. Let me do this here. That's better. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Taurians for this timeless reading? Clarity of belief. I'm hearing Pluto. Just anytime I see butterflies, I tend to think Pluto. Let me keep pulling. Solar plexus. Love. So that is the Lover's card. And we also have Master, so that would be the Devil. Interesting. Then we have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So Taurus. My dramatic hand. So we have the Ace of Cups, the solar plexus. Okay. I think what you need to know right now is that there's more that's going to be available to you. Which, you know, like that sounds like such a general statement, I realize. But this Ace of Cups is telling me that it's like you're creating something from your heart center right now. I feel like this is like an extension of you. The beauty that you're seeing in the world around you right now is an extension of you. You see it because it's in you. It's like you can't resonate at a frequency that does not that you are not also, right? And I'm feeling like this Ace of Cups is really about you There's a lot of, it's a clarity of belief, but I feel like it's a clarity. I'm hearing centered. Like there's a centering that's taking place. There's action that you need to embrace though with this solar plexus. Like there's action and will, and not willpower. Um, but like there's a way that you're putting something into the world. There's a challenge here though, and I think if you're not here for a relationship, I feel like this is about opening your heart to life again, because I feel like it was pretty closed off. Like the story of how the light gets in is like this devil and master. It's like you're um it's not even it's not even that you've been like your own worst enemy. It's not like that. It's like there's this way that you need to be your own best champion. You need to be your own best champion. It might feel like it's a lot safer. It might feel like it. But there's something that wants to be free within you. There's something that really wants to be free. This could be an idea. This could be a project. This could be like, expressions of feelings, because it's an Ace of Cups. Um, Here, let me do this. There we go. It's like, because it's an Ace of Cups, it could be an expression of feeling. Um, and specifically in the context of the Lover's card and the devil being represented as the love being locked away, right? Like you might have locked a part of yourself away, but that's how the light gets in, right? That's how the light gets in. So there's something that's ending here, specifically with, it's like this, like I'm hearing activation. Activation. I don't know. Activation. I'm hearing joy that makes you forget where you are. Joy that makes you forget where you are. The interesting thing is that the embracing energy is taking action. The releasing energy is the love card. That's the Lover's card. My ear's ringing. My left ear. Oof. It's like to me, this is about, it's almost like releasing attachments, or how the story, like that's the story of how the light gets in. I feel like wow, that's really releasing attachments. It's so interesting to me that, like, so in A Course in Miracles, one of the things that it talks about a lot is like what you most want, give, and then you have. And it's like that Ace of Cups energy is just like, it's giving from such an authentic place. It's giving not because you want to get, it's just giving because. Okay, I'm going to start to clarify here. Which deck do I use, though, Spirit? Okay. The star. It's the pole star in this deck, though. There we go. The star. I kind of feel like you've been following some kind of light. Like it's almost like I do get the impression that you've been on this journey. I'm seeing like you've relied on a specific North Star to guide you. Like there's like some kind of navigational system like that you can't see or really explain to other people. You just know that you've been on that path. And it's that where this like awareness, like there's some shift in your awareness. And this can mean a shift in priorities. It can mean a shift in things that are more important to you. My ear's ringing again. So we have the moon and we also have the hermit. So the moon and the hermit, these are a lot of majors to draw on this Ace of Cups. yeah, there's a lot of like navigating by starlight in kind of like a darkness, not dark, dark, like you can still see things, but it's like you can't see the full picture. So you've had to rely on a lot of inner wisdom and psychic nudges. And I would really love to see some pentacles coming out right about now. Um, I would love to see some pentacles for you, but I think I would love that because I'm impatient. But I think the real thing here is the journey. Like, who have you become on the journey, and how does that impact what you're able to offer others on this ace here, right? Because you have the butterfly in hand, and the butterfly is the transformation of something. And as you are open-handed, you're open-hearted as well. Like it's almost like this, it's like a translation of energy from your heart in the wings of the butterfly, and the butterfly effect is ultimately changing something somewhere else. And it's almost like, I wonder if that's where this activation energy comes in. Like there's a receptacle between you and someone else or something else that's drawing this energy in. Page of Pentacles and links. That's so interesting. There was a lynx in my dream the other day. Very, very interesting. So Page of Pentacles, Page of Stones. I do think it's like, it's a small offering. It's a small, like, it's not something, lynxes are kind of hard to spot, or lynx, I don't know. Lynxes are hard to spot easily, right? Like it's a small thing that you may not see, but there's a lot of like relying on intuition. You might have a very intuitive connection with someone. You could be connected intuitively, and that's where all of these messages are coming from. But there's something about releasing attachment here. And I'm hearing... Yeah. I'm hearing the song Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. And the Two of Wands. And that's like, it's like all you have, you're getting, or you have all the information that you need to now act upon something. And that's where this solar plexus chakra, it's like there's something about the energy there that is moving through. Yes, like that's it. If it's not clear, you'll find out. But it's also about understanding and tending to that particular energy, like the energy of the solar plexus. Like how are you really tapping into that? So we have the Eight of Arrows, struggle. Eight of Swords. I find this so interesting. I feel like this is where you'll know if it's resistance. And then we have the Tower, so the blasted oak. What's so interesting to me is that it's like when you're good when you have this information to yourself. Like when it's within you, you just know. And then when it comes to translating it into the world and putting it into something tangible and making the decision, it's like there's faltering because of the fault finding that you do within yourself. And that's where I think that you have to take this light with you, right? Like this is like like you're surrounded by by this kind of, I'm almost seeing like this is so cool, a birth of a constellation, like a nebula within you, like around you. And now I'm hearing primordial soup. So it's like you're creating or recreating something to do with yourself, like recreating energy. I'm hearing Empress, specifically on the Yin card here with this receptivity and the High Priestess energy. So that's like the ultimate in like birthing something. It's like you're putting something into the world. You're putting yourself into the world, maybe slightly differently. The Tower energy here, Spirit, can you please clarify that for me? Thank you. So we have the Three of Swords and the Page of Cups. Otter. Oh, your significant otter. So we have the Three of Swords and the Page of Cups. It's almost like the Tower is like, I'm hearing self-betrayal with the Three of Swords. but I almost feel like you're looking for a companion, and not companion necessarily in terms of love. I'm just thinking about the otter. They usually are in pairs, right? Typically, when you see them featured in places, and it's almost like this is the one that's making its way to you, or there's a way that you've been your own mate, like your own soulmate, taking care of yourself like that, possibly because of this energy that was connected to a tower. Three of Swords is like temporary disappointments, it's setbacks, it's betrayal, it's things that heal over. And now I'm hearing the song Heal Over by KT Tunstall. I love that song so much. It's very beautiful. If you are needing that comfort, I highly recommend that song. Um, yeah. So we have the Ten of Cups, and the Guardian 15 is the Devil. Yeah, there's a lot of stories that you're telling yourself about your happiness and what you deserve, but it's like the trick of the light, right? There's something about your awareness that shifts here. Spirit, can you tell me more about this releasing the lovers here? What are we releasing about the lovers and our attachment to? See, this is where I get the impression with the Devil being here, and then also here, I'm seeing this telling that, come on, you can come across. Come on, baby girl. It's like the stories that you're telling yourself about how accessible this is to you. How accessible this is to you. Nine of Swords. Whoa. Seven of Cups and the King of Swords. I almost get like you go through this or have gone through this grieving process. You allow yourself to release. You allow yourself to release. And I think the Nine of Swords, it's showing up here as dedication, but I almost feel like this is like you need to release your worry, allow yourself to grieve. If you have losses that you haven't grieved yet, allow yourself to grieve them and to fully let go. Okay, you want those. So we have the Six of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So we have Six of Bows, that's abundance, and then Fox. I almost feel like that's like when you release and allow yourself to grieve, you get a lot of clarity on what it is that you want, and you kind of go for it unreservedly. This is you making passionate offers, making like showing up in a passionate way, in a directed way, in a forward moving way. Yeah. I'm hearing alignment. 2. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups and ecstasy. It's such an interesting interpretation in these cards. Five of Cups. And then we have the Six of Swords, and that's transition. I almost feel like this is learning to see loss through the eyes of gratitude. And loss can just mean, like, this can be relative to friendship. This can be relative to work and how you see yourself. If this is for the purpose of relationship, I think it's really about allowing yourself to have grieved, to be able to look forward, and to look forward from a perspective that's healed and healing. Because I feel like you might have gone through it like this. To me, when I was holding this up, what I thought was like you felt like maybe somebody used your heart as target practice, like just to make sure that they could still aim at something. And then when it came down to it, they just dip, like they're gone, which is not a fun energy. Like that makes me furious when people treat others like that. It just, ugh, no, I have no time for it. Because people are not playthings. That's like emotions and hearts. That's not what they're for. That's no. So if that did happen to you, or if there's a Taurus that I'm speaking to right now that did happen to you, I'm very sorry that somebody did that. Yeah. And I think it's almost like integrating that feeling. It's like integrating that into like going through this grieving process, because it's an actual mourning card. The Seven of Cups is like a mourning card here in the iteration of this deck. Typically it's a lot of, and I think this is like all the different ways that you might have questioned yourself or allowed this to really sink into your heart center. And again, the clarity and moving forward. It's almost like you get the clarity about your healing and what you need to do, and you go about doing that or have been going about doing that. And then, this can also just be like a letdown on a job, like, where it could be disagreements with friends, it can be disagreements with family. But the Six of Bows, so the Six of Wands and the Knight of Wands, it's almost like this allows you, I feel like it's like a new season, like it's almost like spring. Like I'm getting that feeling of when, like, the first really warm day in March. I mean, at least in Canada. Sometimes that's not until May. But like that first day where you start to see, I think I'm hearing crocus. That's the one, like the violets, like the purple flowers coming up. I think it's crocus. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on this, and I should not be. But it's like the first, like, signs of spring that start to pop up from the ground that signal spring, before, like, around about or before tulips even, and daffodils. But it's like a new season where you're entering again, like you're joining everyone in celebration again, because the journey that you were on allowed you the time to heal. There was a healing process that I think you needed to make peace with. And I think the story that you might have told yourself about the need to keep yourself, it's almost like keeping your heart under wraps. Like, people know it's there, like they're still going to understand that it's there, but you wanted to, like, keep it protected, which is completely fair, because if somebody did that to your heart, it just, I can understand how someone would want to do that. But then it's like this sort of, you come back from that journey. Like, I think about these energies here, right? Like the moon on water and the hermit, right? It's like you come back from that after you went on this internal journey, and you arrive back at the shores, and you've integrated the energy of the one who, and this is where it's so fascinating to me that it was like a target practice idea. You've integrated that and said, no, I'm redefining what that means. I've integrated that energy and I've healed that energy. You've healed it. And it's not that you then play target practice in turn. It's that you understand what each bow, each arrow, each energy of that represents. I think about this as swords, right? Like your Ace of Swords, your two, like your, and then I think about this as also integrating an element of cups as well, right? Like it's the Chariot, which is a watery energy. That's the 7 in the major arcana. That's the Chariot. So it's like a moving forward energy. But it's almost like you're embodying the higher octave of it as a major arcana, as opposed to the perhaps lower vibration of it in the 3 of Swords, which is beautiful. That's integrating and that's fully healing. Spirit, what message do you have for my Taurians as we begin to close out this reading? The Queen of Swords and Hare. There we go. Rabbits. I think rabbits are meant to be lucky, but do look up the meaning if you wish. But this is the Queen of Swords. Or sorry, Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. It's like you're back, and it's like your passion comes back. Your passion comes back. Your passion realigns. There's something about the way that you carry yourself that's different. You carry yourself differently. And I think people respond to that too. I think people are responding to that slightly differently. The Mirror, 12 is the Hanged Man. Yeah. It's like you're allowing yourself to take things slowly, and you're not, the same illusions that you feel like may have hurt you are not necessarily the same. Like there's a different, it's so I see this as almost like a rite. I'm seeing RITE, like you're on this. It's like you sent yourself on this rite of passage, and there's you can look at yourself through the reflection of the water, through the reflection of the moon, or through the reflection of the mirror, and you're choosing none of them, and you're seeing things very clearly. It's like you're going within instead, having allowed some part of you to move into the ethers. It could be the ending of a cycle with that 9 here, but it's like this is what that awareness does. This awareness transforms, right? The things the light illuminates that you typically can't see. That's what energy came to mind while I was kayaking, and I see this here, especially with the moon on water. The things the light illuminates that you typically can't see. I thought about all the life, the ways that such a seeming mundane thing came to life in the rock face, right? I think that's what I feel like this is a very heart-centered and heart-oriented journey. I'm just going to pull one more because I can. Oh, you want me? Okay. I'm going to pull another one of these for you, Taurus. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Taurians to close out this reading, please? Water. You could be dealing with a water sign. You could have water in your chart. I think it's also about, water, and water is an aspect of your consciousness and awareness, right? Like, your conscious awareness, light, and the sun. Yeah. It's like I'm almost getting that this is like the reflections on the water, right? Like reflections of the water. Like there's something about the way that your awareness, maybe water is helpful or will be helpful. Like I've talked about this before, but Brian Scott and others, including Masaru Emoto, talked about more so Emoto talked about the crystals and how we talk to ourselves with it. But then Brian Scott talked about quantum jumping with water. And that was really cool. But that might be of importance to you in terms of how you see yourself, and imbuing water with the energy of what it is that you want to experience of yourself. And even if it's just a healing energy, right? Even if it's just healing, I do feel like there's a lot of catalytic energy right now for you, Taurus. So lean into that, lean into it. I'm going to pull from the notes from the universe on love and connection deck for you. Whoa. Okay, so be true to yourself and your treasure is at hand. Be true to yourself, your treasure is at hand. Yeah. It's the catalytic energy, right? Like this almost strikes me as the same energy of the nebula and the constellation being birthed. And then when we talk about the light reflecting on the limestone and revealing all of these beautiful things and almost being like a song, like my synesthesia hears it like a song. So it's like it resonates in the heart so differently. And that's where it's like the be true to yourself, the sun, right? They say that of the primordial soup, I fell down this rabbit hole this morning, but primordial soup is essentially like these specific elements that when met with consistent energy, turns out that I think it's like ions that it actually was, but when it's met with consistent energy, similar to that of the sun, right? Like it changes, it creates life. Like those are the fundamental building blocks of life, essentially. 3 on the time, of course, of course, always. And so it's almost like that's where it's like understanding that there's something about your awareness that's shifting, and it could just be to do with your self-perception. That's a big shift? Those are big shifts for sure. So it's allowing yourself to feel that and to have that sink in fully. Yeah. I'm just going to read this one line to you again. All your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Be grateful, praise things before they manifest, and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring you only more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let Spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty so you will be ready to be filled with inspired epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. And the song Heal Over by KT Tunstall was once again playing. Taurus, that is your reading. If this resonated, this was a joy. Like, I feel like I'm beholding somebody's healing process. I feel very honored to do that. So if this does resonate for you, I'm very appreciative of that. So thank you for bringing your energy here to behold this, and to take it in. So, yeah, wow. If this resonated, though, do give it a like and subscribe. I'd love to have you on the channel. If you're joining me from my subscriber base, thank you so much. I really appreciate having you here. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, but if this is where we part, my Taurians, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time-space continuum, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well, my darlings. Take care.